myself up. You know, my wife was worried. You know what? You know, can you get in trouble for that? For using their name? I mean, no, yeah. What, you know, what am I doing? I'm not slandering them. I'm telling the truth. I'm telling my experience. I've looked on YouTube, and you can see people talking about products that they are really unhappy about, talking junk about them and shooting them, you know. Besides, you know, if they did come after me, I'd become famous. I'd be the guy that, you know, did the straight talk commercial. Because they're not shooting straight with us, are they? It's not straight talk. It's straight bald-faced lies. Deception. You know, they wouldn't say a lie, but, you know, it's deception because they're not telling you the whole truth. It's not truth in advertising, is it? Yeah, we just heard some truth in advertising. Is what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I'm thinking about going back to cricket. I'm going to look back into their service, what it's going to cost, because I'm not putting up with this crap. You know, they're not going to just control, you know, and because it's too much trouble to change services. Man, please. I'll change service anytime I want to. Man, stick around. We're going to take a short break. You're listening to the Man Please Show. Here at McDonald's, we recognize your need for new and fresh ideas. Well, we consider ourselves hip and fresh and rad and all that. So we want to introduce the new triple stack Patty Whack. It's cool and right on. It's on the chain. Most of all, it's whack. Try one if you're cool. Visit your local McDonald's on 5th and Vine in Greensboro. Open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Miracle Whip is sorta kinda, not really, like mayo, but multiplied by awesomeness. You see, we've got this bold, tangy flavor that is unlike anything you've ever tasted. 1 out of 4 people in this country loves the creamy, sweet, and tangy taste of Miracle Whip. Sadly, 2 out of the other 4 hate them for it, and 1 out of those 2 haven't even tried it. Well, we think 1 out of 2 of the original 4 is being pretty unfair. Let's declare an end to this injustice, this unfair treatment against a simple sandwich spread. Miracle Whip, sorta kinda, not really, like mayo. Man, please.
Hello, Straight Talk. Can I help you, please? Please state your emergency.
Outsourcing. Anyway, I rant forever about that mess. Well, you know what today is? Today's a sad day for University of North Carolina fans. The greatest coach, I think, in the history of basketball, college basketball, passed away. Dean Smith passed away. I think yesterday. You know, I think I've made it clear that I'm a Carolina fan, so I was a big Dean Smith fan. I actually went to several games and saw Dean coaching, and that's back when you could get tickets. I used to go with my father. We used to order tickets, not online, on the telephone. He had there was some number that he could call, get 2 tickets, and so we would get the tickets. We'd drive up there, and we would we'd be parked. We would park in a like a little shopping center, a big Walmart or something, and then there'd be a shuttle bus, and we'd get on the shuttle bus, and the shuttle bus would take us straight to the Dean Dome, drop us off right in front, and we'd go in and watch the games. You can't do that, really, I don't think, anymore. You can't get tickets anymore. And unless you know somebody or, you work at a business that has, that a booster, it's harder to get tickets for common folk, just folks that, aren't connected. But I used to go. I remember my dad, you couldn't embarrass him, and he loved to embarrass you. And we were standing in the concourse, and lo and behold, there was Scott Williams. And he wasn't dressed to play, but he was standing about 20 feet. I said, "Dad, man, there's Scott Williams." And if you're not a Carolina fan, you won't know who that is. But I said, "There's Scott Williams." And he was like, "You want to meet him?" I was like, "No," because, he was talking to people. And I ain't going over there interrupting him, he might slap me, block me like a shot. Dad said, "Here, I'll do it, son. Wait, hang on a second." "No, Dad, please, no." And he walked, hey, Scott. And he looked over. "Hey, my son wants to meet you." And I'm a grown man. And my dad's calling Scott Williams over to meet me, and I felt like a 12-year-old. "Hey, can I have your autograph?" It was one moment that I remember from the Dean Dome. There's several. I've been there many times to see my beloved Heels play. But I wanted to sort of pay some homage to Coach Smith, as all the TV, all the local channels have been doing. All the players have come out to pay their respects and say things about him that just made him, more more respectable. I want to, at one time he was the winningest coach in college basketball. He's not anymore, but he was. But see, check this out. The guys, like Coach K has 1,000 wins now. But see, when Dean Smith was getting his wins, they were playing half the games. His first season, which, by the way, his first season was his only losing season in 36 seasons, from 61 to 97. He retired in 97. He had one losing season, and that was his first season, and I think he was 8-9. They played 17 games. And they did that for a long time. He started coaching in 61. He coached from 61 to 97. So they played a lot less games than Coach K has played. So naturally, and I'm not belittling what Coach K has accomplished, but I'm just saying that Dean Smith accomplished, I think, more in less time, with less opportunities to get wins. You only play half the games. It's a lot harder to get as many wins as somebody playing twice as many games. So anyway, I'm a Carolina guy, so I'm gonna be passionate about my man. He won 77.6% of his games in all 36 years. That's pretty good. That's phenomenal. When you consider the parity in college basketball now, and even when he was coaching, he coached up to 97. That's not that long ago. And so, basketball's, there's been a lot of parity in basketball. And so to win 77.6% of your games in an elite league of teams all over the country is pretty impressive, I think. I've got some other stats here. I just wrote down a bunch of things that he accomplished in his 36-year career. I don't know. I didn't know this, but it's kind of cool. But because it's the year I came back from Germany. But he won a gold medal in the '76 Olympics. For the basketball team. Pretty impressive there. He won 2 NCAA championships, 1982 and 1993. He had 11 NCAA Final Fours. That's pretty good, to get to 11. Out of 36 years, he made it to 11 Final Fours. That's almost a third. He had 13 ACC championships and 17 ACC regular season championships. And he won the NIT championship one year, 1971. He was voted National Coach of the Year 4 times. And he was voted ACC Coach of the Year 9 times. Let's see here. He was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame in 1983. 83, man. He still coached for another, 14 years after he was inducted into the Hall of Fame. So he's in the Hall of Fame 14 years before he retired. How do you do that? 2006, he was inducted into the College Basketball Hall of Fame. It seems kind of backwards to me. Anyway, both very impressive. And he was also Coach Smith was very passionate about racial relations. He signed the first scholarship African American basketball player, Charlie Scott. I tried to find what year that was, and I couldn't. I ran out of time. And couldn't find out when that was, but it was the first in the ACC, right? Yeah, first in the ACC, first African American scholarship athlete, Charlie Scott. So and he also worked to get in the community to make it easier for African Americans to have businesses close and around the college. He was instrumental in that. He was just he was a passionate man. He was more about teaching life than he was about winning basketball. That was not what was in the forefront of his mind. Some of the players, and I heard him say that the principles that he tried to teach them about life, if they applied those, teamwork, he wouldn't let them see their individual stats. He said it doesn't matter what your individual stats are. You're part of a team. He wouldn't let them see them. And he said that if they would apply those principles that he was teaching them about life and about leadership, about competitiveness, good sportsmanship, character, that those things, if you incorporate those things and put them on the basketball court with your skill, you're going to win. That's the side effect You're going to produce